What's up, friends? This is Jazz bringing another For Better For Worse vlog number 52. Now, a few things beforehand. Yeah, I know it's like almost 3 weeks. Well, 2. I'm going to try to get this out for today. But 2 weeks since I recorded this. I do apologize. And I got to apologize further because after next week's vlog, not this week, as I said in my update, I'm going to be taking a hiatus of recording, so there could be occasional weeks where you get one, right? But I'm not really overstressing myself on this, but I did say I would get these 2 vlogs done anyway, because I had the material for them, and I didn't have to look for any new material. So, the first vlog is from April 21st, 1982. And here is Connie. Phil, moving here, Ellie? I never would have dreamed. Connie, what you don't need right now is another crazy relationship. Are you kidding? Right now, what I need is any relationship. Wow, that... Jeez. Connie is absolutely nuts at this point. I think the first few years, she, had it pretty bad. She, even after going through the terrible divorce with her husband, Pete, she just needed someone. She was a person who needed someone, right? And I do like how Connie evolves through this series. She goes from someone who needs someone to someone who was with someone for a little bit, being Ted, but still being so scared of being alone again that she puts up with his, is it misogynistic, or you know what I mean, or, but you know what I mean, his ways, and thinking she was going to change him. That's the thing, because some men, women, some people just can't be changed. No matter how much you think, oh, well, they'll get better, if they say they'll get better, right? It's kind of sometimes, I'm not saying that there aren't people who have gone through rough times, been a certain way, not saying there are some people who don't change the ways, legitimately, genuinely, but really, it's just pretty much some people will never change, regardless of their broken promises. And I never experienced anything like that. I've never been in any bad, really. I've never been really in any real, what I could see, relationship. So I've never had to worry about things like that. I don't go out enough either. But some people just don't change. That's just a fact, right? And Connie was so desperate to not be alone for the longest time that she put up with Ted and did things to change for him. And honestly, and what is my opinion on the fact that for a very short, brief period, Connie and Phil sort of went out? Well, let's put it this way. I think for a long time, Phil did genuinely care for Connie. And the only thing is I don't know if he would have been able to settle down with Lawrence, necessarily, though. I mean, he cared for Connie, yes, and he showed that he cared for Lawrence to a degree, but he was the type to had a hard time settling down at that point. And it was kind of good things ended when they did between Connie and Phil, because he met the love of his life, Georgia, and she met, well, as it said, love of her life, Greg. So they both ended up happy enough in their situation and with what they were able to handle. Both partners, I think, were kind of the perfect match for their spouses. Connie needed someone, but she also was a mother, right? And she wanted to, be a mother. And Greg had 2 daughters. Even though they didn't get along at first, he had 2 teenage daughters. So he was a family man as well. So he was like the perfect man that way. And with Phil, well, as we see by the end of the strip, they both never have children, and they seem happy together. Like, even though Georgia had a few moments of wanting kids, right? Had said it, not as a deep desire. She didn't have any children, right? And Phil and them, like, they were completely happy. I don't know whether it's because she knew Phil may not settle down in that degree, and she accepted him the way he was, with his career and everything, or I don't know what happened, but I've never seen him have kids, as I know. So, yeah, I know I've gone really off topic of that strip. But, I mean, Ellie is right, though. She listens, but she has the right idea. Like, I think that when you find someone, you have to really make sure they're, like, who they are. And, like, you have to look out for those red flags. Like, as I said, I think this is around when they were dating. She said another crazy relationship, so I don't know. Like, as I said, this is early on, and I really gotta reread those years again, because I forget the timeline with Ted and Connie. But the way she said it, Connie, just what you don't need now is another crazy relationship. So I have a feeling that maybe they were in the mix of dating and just breaking up in one of those temporary breakups. Right? So, I don't know, but she still seems so obsessed with Phil. So that's what confuses me, because I remember one time when Phil is down, but he said that she's moving here. He's moving, so that's what I'm so confused about. Right? Is that Phil is moving there, and there was a time where Phil tried to court Connie, right? Because after when they met, when he came down, and so he tried to court Connie, but that seemed to be when he was visiting. And then after Connie said, well, maybe that's why I decided I'd go see him, like Ted, Phil had enough. Right? Because she was in a great relationship with Phil, and she decided to go back to see Ted, to give him another chance. And after all the bad things that she said that he did to Phil. So it's confusing about this timeline, because I swear Phil was visiting during that time, not moving. Because Phil moving here. So, yeah, that is just so confusing. But I've been on this section too long, so let's get on to the final strip. Final strip is from April 2nd, 2009, or from December 28th, 1979. So this was very early on in the strip. And yes, I know the months are a big change, but that's because Lynn started, I believe, in October of 1979, so there's only been a few months since she did the strip. And and Ellie's like, both kids are in bed, so you'll have no problems. Thanks for coming. And how old did you say you were again, Karen? Ironic name for everything going on. She's like, 13. Then she looks right at Ellie. She's like, I'm 32. Now, again, back to what I was saying, Karen is an interesting name, because lately people have been doing memes and calling bad people Karen, like this person is a Karen. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, because you're using a name to demean people. I mean, there could be plenty of Karens who are nice, for example. So I just find it ridiculous. But anyway, both the strip in general, I find it funny. Not hilarious, but funny. What is so funny is that and when I read the book, like the treasury I had with this, Lynn mentioned that she always saw her teenage babysitter sort of as peers and treated them with the same respect she would have for adults, in a way. And that's how it was there when Karen looked at Ellie to say her age, because Ellie asked her age. So she kind of, at being awkward, sent her being a peer, the one looking after her children, oh, well, I'm 32. Although, I mean, at least Karen didn't go out saying, well, how old are you? But she kind of gave that look to say, well, your turn. Personally, how do I feel about this? Well, about Lynn's comment, it was her own choice to treat the kids as same as she would treat other adults who were doing the same thing. That I don't have any problem with. But with Karen right here, she's 13 years old. I mean, Ellie's an adult, even with her being the babysitter of her children, and yes, her being older than her children, she's a child. Ellie should have at least, I mean, okay, I know Karen isn't her child, but I mean, that shouldn't have been completely okay. If Karen had asked, do you mind telling me your age, right, in a polite way, maybe, yes, but her expecting an answer, I mean, Ellie, I don't know whether she handled it well. I mean, she could have said, I'm 32, but it's not very, you know what, that would be hypocritical, wouldn't it? But I mean, Ellie, I think, was asking for more of a reason that, I mean, she's looking after her kids, right? And a 13-year-old? I mean, okay, I know Michael did babysit when he was 13 too. And females at that time seemed to be more mature than boys, yes. But I mean, come on. 13 years old looking after a 5-year-old and a 6-month-old. That just doesn't seem right. I mean, I can understand when they're a little older. Well, maybe Michael. If she was just looking after Michael, then maybe. But looking after a baby, and a toddler, especially when Michael had his personality and he was kind of a little bully. So, I mean, I would have hoped for at least 14, late 14, I mean, I know 14 is still young too, but, I mean, heck, by the end of the fourth collection book, Elizabeth is about that age. So, could you picture her babysitting? Her, you know what I mean, I mean, I don't know. But I still also think Karen, the way she got that answer from Ellie wasn't very polite, as if she was entitled to it, and the way she was all smug when she got it, as that Ellie was asking for the reason, for the safety of her children, right? I'm sure. Either that, or she was being, it's funny, when you're, sometimes when adults do the questioning, it isn't as rude, if they're just, being nice, she was trying to maybe either make sure she was the age she was, or the correct age, or she was just trying to bring up conversation, carry a conversation, and be nice. With Karen, as I said, I've learned you should never ask the age of your elders. Especially when you're about an adult yourself, that's a little different. It's still kind of rude, but it's more of a conversation starter. They'll bring up their age. Back then, it was kind of considered rude. I mean, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel and like what you see, please subscribe. It helps this channel a lot. And don't forget to hit the bell notification so you'll know when new videos are coming out. And I will see you guys in my next video.